All right, we're back. We're going to continue the debate. It's my turn now. And a lot of things that Jim Satan just read are true, and a lot of things are lies. Satan is a liar. Don't believe anything he tells you, because his purpose is to kill, crush, and destroy. God created him. You would say, well, why would God create something so evil? You want to understand God, and you want to try to tell God how to run things. God is the supreme creator. He's a mastermind beyond minds. His IQ is higher than every person on this planet, and you're going to tell him how he should run things. It's a joke, okay? He created things for a purpose and a reason. Just because you don't understand them doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means you don't understand them. Now, I know why he created Satan, so that we would have a choice. Well, what do we need a choice for? Well, without a choice, we are robots. If I didn't have a choice to be bad or be good, I would be a machine. I would have to function one way and only one way.
May I say something? A machine is exactly what Adam and Eve were when they were in the Garden of Eden, before they bit into the fruit and their eyes were open.
They were people without a choice. They were created, they were made one way.
So if it were not for me, we wouldn't have a choice. I'm the one that tempted them to bite into the apple.
So that we could be born with sin, because we had no sin in us before he came along, which meant we would have been good. We could not be bad, and therefore we have to love God because we had no choice. God doesn't want us to love him because we have to.
So God purposely created me.
Purposely created
so
you.
So that I could tempt them.
So you could tempt them. To commit sin.
So that we could have a choice.
So that we could have a choice.
Either love Satan or God.
Right, to love Satan or God.
So whose fault is that, mine or God's?
It's your fault. Because,
not my fault.
Because you, when he created you, you were the rebellion child that said, you know what, I can rule the world. This is the way you were created. You made that choice, just like you made the choice that I am going to rule over God.
And God made the choice to allow it.
That's right.
So I am not only to blame. I am not only personally to blame. God is the ultimate. God is the most powerful. God cast me out of heaven down into the earth.
That's right.
So somebody with that type of power, if he knew that was going to happen and he allowed it to happen, he has to take somewhat of a percentage of the blame.
How can you take blame for something that you give someone else a choice? If I give you a choice to jump off a bridge or to sit down, and you jump off a bridge.
The all-knowing God, I mean, he made it that way. He set it up that way.
He did.
He did.
He set it up to have choices, because without choices, we go back to being a robot, okay?
In other words, without choices, we go back to being Adam and Eve.
We go back to being Adam and Eve, which would be a robot. We would be a creation.
So God wanted to improve on the robots, and the only way that could have happened is if I, who has all the blame, tempted them the way I did. So God got his will, in a way, because God didn't want to see Adam and Eve just be robots throughout eternity. So he created me, knowing, mind you, knowing that I would tempt them, and Adam and Eve would no longer be robots. But Satan getting all the blame.
Because this was your free will. When God created you, he made you so beautiful that there was a spirit in you that said, you know what? I can rule the world. I don't need God. I can do whatever I want, and I'm going to be the most powerful thing on earth, and I'm going to take over. And this is where you come in, rebelling God, telling God that you don't need him. And he knew that you would end up doing this.
Exactly my point. If he knew all that, and he went along with it. It's something that he wanted to happen. You can't blame only me.
You're trying to tell God
No,
how
you're
to
the one that's
create.
telling me.
I'm telling you.
I'm not telling anybody anything. You're telling me.
Yeah, so God could have said, you know what? I know evil. He's going to be evil. So you know what? I'm just going to get rid of him. There's going to be no such thing as evil. Everything's going to be good. Everything will be just great.
Right, so why didn't he make that choice and just leave things the way they were?
Because all my children love me because I have to. They don't have any other choice but to love me because there's nothing bad out there for them to get into trouble. So I know all my children love me because there's no other choices but to love me, and that's not love. I got news for you.
Okay, let me ask you this. How can it be true free will when you have threats along with it? In other words, if you don't do what I want you to do, what is my will, you will be punished to the extent of eternal damnation, which is worse than death itself. Okay? Now this is his children we're talking about.
That's right.
Even me.
That's right.
I'm his child.
That's right.
Okay?
Right.
So, it's like me having a girlfriend or a wife that I love so much. She says, well, honey, I don't love you anymore. We're through. So what am I going to do? I got a couple of choices, you know. I can just, pardon the pun, you know, walk away with my tail between my legs, not say anything, be brokenhearted. Or I could threaten her the way God does and say, you ain't leaving me. If you leave me, I'll slice you to ribbons. So, is that true freedom? I think not.
Why would you want a woman to live with you?
Why would God want somebody to love him? Because he's forcing them with punishment to love him.
Because
that's not true free will.
Because
right
he
there.
loves us so much.
He loves us so much he'll sentence us to eternal damnation.
That's right.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense to you.
It makes
perfect sense to me. My mother told me that if I crossed that street without her there, she would beat me. And you know what? I crossed the street without my mother, and she beat me. And you know why she beat me? Because she loved me, not because she hated me.
Beating you, and saying, if you cross that street, I'm going to kill you, are two different things.
No, it's not.
God is going to an extreme by sentencing anyone of his children, mind you, to eternal damnation.
That's
Your
right.
mother didn't sentence you to eternal damnation to burn throughout eternity in a place called hell.
That's right.
She beat you for crossing the street. There's
right.
a big difference.
No, there isn't, because the difference is she beat me so that I wouldn't get killed by a car and become dead, and then who knows what.
When we become old enough, I mean, you know, most of us have common sense. We know what the world is all about. Yes, we have a choice. We can be renegades. We can walk what they refer to as the path of righteousness. We know God. We know of Satan. We can make a choice. But it's not a free choice.
It absolutely is.
No, it isn't.
I have the choice to sit here and defend God, or I have the choice to go to a bar and pick up a woman and create all kinds of sin and end up with problems and nightmares like we all know about. I crashed my car on my way to my girlfriend's house because we were drunk, or I got a disease because I was sleeping with a girl that I shouldn't have been sleeping with.
This all stems from what God allowed to begin with.
That's right. This is called the evil world. See, the evil world. And God is saying, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you if you hang out with him.
What is more evil than condemning somebody or anyone to eternal damnation? What is more evil
He
than that?
didn't condemn us. This is the whole point. God doesn't condemn us.
I did not create hell. I do not sentence anybody to eternal damnation and throw them in hell.
That's right.
That's God's idea.
No, that's the person's idea. We walk into hell with you. Say, oh yeah, Satan, I want to drink, I want to do drugs, I want to sleep around, I want to steal, I want to murder.
You know, many of you are not going to believe this. I don't drink. I mind my business. I don't get into any trouble. The only bad habit I got is smoking cigarettes.
but you're not the real Satan. See, and that's
Are you the real Jesus?
the Spirit is. The Spirit of God is.
The
See?
Spirit of God is in all of us. So isn't the
devil.
isn't the spirit of Satan.
Absolutely right. The two spirits, the angel and the demon, are living in all of us.
So we got one side being pulled this way and one side
That's
being pulled that
this way. And you're sitting right here. And your choice in life, you see, your choice in life is my home. My home goes up there, and it's the most beautiful place that you can't even imagine. And your home is down in the center of Earth, which is molten lava and heat and burning flesh.
And whose fault is that? Mine, right?
Whose fault is that? Yeah.
Well,
you decided.
I didn't create hell.
You're right, I did. See? And the reason I created it is because you said you didn't need me. You were going to rule the world, and you were going to run it your way. And the way you want to run it is there's going to be drugs and alcohol and pain and suffering and all things that...
Well, that goes again, that goes back to what I was saying. If it was just Adam and Eve, there wouldn't be any all them things.
That's right.
Never have,
they would just be all good and kindness. And it's like, yeah, they're all good and kind because they don't have a choice to be bad. Those aren't people who love me.
All right, so now once the Father resurrects everybody and chooses who He wants to enter the kingdom of heaven, what choices are going to be there?
What choice? There isn't going to be a choice.
All right, so
the choice was made.
All right, so what's
right now.
Explain what that's going to be like.
The choice is God is going to decide whether you're going to go live in His house or you're going to go live in your house.
What's living in His house going to consist of?
It's going to consist of all peace, joy, happiness, love, no more pain, no more suffering, a wonderful, wonderful place where I live now. I live in this place now. Every day is great, wonderful, no more problems, no more nightmares, no more headaches of the world. Why? Because I don't hang out with him anymore. I used to hang out with him all the time.
I beg to differ. You see him with me right now, do you not?
But this is my friend Jim. This isn't the real devil.
This is my friend Mel. He's not the real Jesus.
Right. And so we're friends and we get along, but I know the real devil would say, come on, Mel, let's go to the bar and have a drink and maybe pick up a girl and go home and have some fun. Well, I did that. And you know what? It caused me a lot of pain and suffering. I haven't done that in 4 years, and I haven't had one pain or suffering day since. Because I'm not hanging out with the real devil, not my friend Jim. We're telling the world of what God and this plan is all about.
You know what I think? I think him and I have to arm wrestle. It's the only way we're going to settle this.
Okay.
It's the only way we're going to settle this dispute.
We have a guest, so we're gonna cut it now. And I hope this answers some of your questions. And I love Jim, and I love you, and make the right choice.